Michigan holds more coastline than the entire eastern seaboard, but most of its wildest places don't make it onto travel brochures. This is a state where sandstone cliffs vanish into mist, where shipwrecks lie just beneath the waves, and where entire forests grow from dunes that shift like sleeping giants. Here, islands freeze in winter, ghost towns crumble into cedar woods, and Great Lakes storms uncover secrets meant to stay buried. Welcome to the Michigan few ever reach. The Michigan that's not just seen, but felt. Split by the Great Lakes, Michigan is 2 peninsulas but hundreds of worlds. In the Upper Peninsula, waterfalls tumble through black rock into rivers lost in pine. In the Lower Peninsula, inland lakes reflect skies more vast than expected. And all around, the water is always near, shaping cliffs, swallowing ships, and carving wonder into every edge. In Unseen Michigan, we'll skip the tourist stops and search for what still feels untouched. Islands without cars, forests without roads, coves only accessible by water, and ruins that rust slowly beneath maples. Because here, wonder doesn't wave, it waits. This is not just a state of lakes, it's a state of layers. And if you look past the postcard, you'll find it. Tucked along the cliffs of Lake Michigan's Garden Peninsula, far from highways and crowds, lies Fayette, a 19th-century iron-smelting town turned ghost village, where stone blast furnaces and wooden homes still face the water. In the 1860s, Fayette was a booming company town, producing thousands of tons of pig iron for America's growing industry. Immigrants lived in tidy row houses. Ships loaded cargo from the harbor. And the furnaces burned night and day. But when the iron ran out, so did the people. Today, more than 20 original buildings remain, including the furnace complex, workers' quarters, and hotel, all set against cliffs of dolomite and the turquoise waves of Big Bay de Noc. Trails wind through woods now regrown over rail beds, and the air carries only birdsong and breeze. Fayette is a rare ghost town that was never buried or erased, just left behind. And in its quiet decay, it speaks clearly about industry, isolation, and the lives carved from rock and fire. Here, the past isn't just preserved, it's paused. Tucked within the forest near Manistee lies Kitch-iti-kipi, known by the Ojibwe as the Big Cold Spring. It's the largest freshwater spring in Michigan and possibly the most hypnotic body of water in the state. Over 10,000 gallons per minute surge up from limestone fissures below, keeping the spring at a crystal clear 45 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. The water is so clear, you can see ancient tree trunks, schools of trout, and rolling sand boils shifting along the bottom, over 40 feet down. Visitors glide silently across on a self-operated raft, pulled by a cable system that allows you to float over the spring's glowing green-blue heart. There's no motor, no noise, just water, trees, and your own breath. For centuries, this was a sacred site for indigenous tribes, a mirror between worlds. Today, it still feels like one, untouched, glassy, alive. Kitch-iti-kipi doesn't dazzle, it calms. And in doing so, it reveals a different kind of wonder, one that flows from beneath. Along the southern shore of Lake Superior, stretching for over 40 miles, lies Pictured Rock's National Lakeshore. A landscape where sandstone cliffs rise 200 feet above the lake and glow with streaks of iron, copper, and manganese. These cliffs aren't just scenic, they're geologic paintings. Minerals seep through the rock, tinting the walls with streaks of red, green, orange, and blue. Wave-carved arches, sea caves, and towers line the coast, battered constantly by Superior's famously unpredictable moods. Accessible only by water, long hikes, or backcountry roads, some of the park's best features, including Chapel Rock, Spray Falls, and Mosquito Beach, remain largely untouched. And the lake itself? Cold, clear, immense. It's more ocean than lake. This is not a place for crowds. It's a place for quiet awe, for fog rolling off the cliffs, for waves echoing through stone canyons, for colors older than memory. At Pictured Rocks, you don't just see the landscape, you feel it rising and falling with the water beneath your feet. On the eastern edge of Pictured Rock's National Lakeshore, accessible only by a rugged hike or boat, stands Chapel Rock. A freestanding sandstone pillar rising from the forest floor like a monument left behind. Perched impossibly on top is a lone white pine, growing strong, tall, and completely separated from the mainland. Its roots stretch across a 10-foot air gap, connecting to the forest by a single visible lifeline, thick, exposed, and clinging to survival. The rock itself was once part of a natural arch, eroded over centuries by Superior's relentless winds and waves. Now, all that remains is this singular pedestal and the tree atop it, defiant, graceful, and surrounded by silence. It's one of the most surreal sights in the Upper Peninsula, and standing before it, you can't help but feel the story in its form. Resilience, balance, and the strange beauty of endurance. Chapel Rock isn't just a formation, it's a lesson in holding on. Nearly 60 miles off Michigan's northern shore, surrounded by the deepest freshwater in the world, lies Royale National Park. A vast island wilderness of forests, moose, wolves, and more shipwrecks than towns. Accessible only by boat or seaplane, Royale is one of the least visited national parks in the country. Yet those who make the journey find 215 miles of trails, countless coves, boreal forests, and ridgelines untouched by pavement or cell towers. For over 70 years, scientists have studied the island's rare predator-prey balance between moose and wolves, revealing delicate cycles of survival shaped by climate, isolation, and chance. Beneath the water lie dozens of shipwrecks, preserved by Superior's cold depths. A ghost fleet of copper freighters and steamers lost to storms. There are no cars here, no light pollution. Just the call of loons, the rustle of spruce, and the rhythm of waves on volcanic shore. Royale isn't just remote, it's another reality. One where wilderness rules, and the modern world waits on the far shore. In the western Upper Peninsula, near the shore of Lake Superior, rise the Porcupine Mountains, or the Porkies. Not true mountains, but some of the oldest exposed rock in North America, worn down into forested ridges, hidden lakes, and roaring rivers. This is Michigan's largest state park, a wilderness of black spruce, sugar maple, and white pine, largely untouched since the glaciers retreated. Trails lead to sweeping overlooks like Lake of the Clouds, where you stand above a mirror of green and sky. Waterfalls thunder through gorges, and the sky at night is inked with stars. Moose wander the bogs. Black bears move through undergrowth. And every trail feels like a step backward, not just in distance, but in time. The Porcupine Mountains aren't loud or showy. They're enduring, a place that's seen fire, ice, and silence, and kept standing through it all. High above the Lake Michigan shoreline, in a place many skip while heading to more famous parks, lie the Arcadia Dunes. A hidden stretch of wild coastline and sweeping forest perched between water and sky. Atop Baldy Dune, one of the tallest in the region, you'll find panoramic views of crashing waves, glacial ridges, and hardwood forest that glows gold in fall. Trails wind through sand, cedar, and field, leading to outlooks so quiet you can hear the wind change. Unlike the busier dunes to the south, Arcadia feels remote, preserved, not promoted. It's a place to breathe, to watch the lake curve with the earth, and to remember how much of Michigan's coastline remains untouched. Tucked inland near East Jordan, the Jordan River Valley is one of the most pristine and protected river corridors in Michigan. It's where crystal-clear water snakes through old-growth forest, past mossy banks, cedar groves, and ridges that rise steeply around the floodplain. The river is designated as a natural wild and scenic river, and paddling its slow turns is like drifting back in time. Herons lift off the water, brook trout flash in the current, and the air is rich with the scent of pine and rain-soaked earth. Above the river, the Dead Man's Hill overlook offers one of the state's most underrated views, a sweeping, cinematic vista of rolling forest, layered in color from ridge to ravine. The Jordan River Valley isn't just protected, it's untouched in spirit, a landscape that still moves the way nature intended. Tucked between pictured rocks and the wilds of the Upper Peninsula, the town of Grand Marais is a gateway to some of Michigan's most surreal shoreline and one of its strangest natural phenomena, glowing sands. The beaches around Grand Marais contain a high concentration of minerals like feldspar and quartz, which, under the right conditions, can shimmer and faintly glow when disturbed at night, especially along Sable Falls or in the shallow tide-washed sands of Agate Beach. But that's only part of the magic. In winter, lake effect snow buries everything. In summer, sunsets stretch past 10 p.m. And all year round, Grand Marais remains one of the most quietly beautiful places in the state, a town of 300, surrounded by infinite wonder. On the east side of Detroit, covering more than 40 acres, stand the crumbling remains of the Packard automotive plant. Once one of the most advanced and expansive industrial complexes in the world. Built in 1903, the plant symbolized the rise of American manufacturing. Its open-floor design, concrete construction, and assembly line innovations helped launch the automotive revolution. At its peak, Packard employed thousands, producing luxury vehicles for the elite and engines for World War II bombers. But after decades of decline, the plant was abandoned. Now, it stands as a colossal ruin, overtaken by graffiti, vines, and trees sprouting through collapsed roofs. Towers still rise above the rubble, staircases end in sky, and rusting beams creak in the wind. Photographers, urban explorers, and artists call it sacred. Historians call it tragic, but everyone who visits sees the same thing: the shell of greatness and the strange, powerful quiet that follows. The Packard plant is not just a ruin, it's a reflection of what America builds and what it leaves behind. Michigan is not just a state of lakes, it's a state of edges. Edges between water and land, between past and present, between wild and forgotten. Its wonders don't always announce themselves. Some lie buried in forest. Others sleep beneath waves. A few still echo through rusted beams or ring out from solitary cliffs. Here, trees grow through ruins. Stones glow after sunset. Islands freeze in winter and melt into summer fog. This isn't just scenery, it's memory made visible. To truly see Michigan, you have to step beyond the scenic pullouts and into the spaces between stories, where the earth still tells its own. If this journey through unseen Michigan stirred something in you, subscribe to Era Trails for more cinematic journeys through the hidden edges of the world. And share this with someone who thinks they know Michigan, because the best parts of it are still off the map.